Hi, I'm Hale.
And I'm Alex, and we're going to give you an overview of our book haul from today.
So today we visited a used bookstore that's kind of close to us, and the prices were really cheap, so we went a bit overboard. I got 7 books.
I got 5.
So yes, we have 12 books to share with you, which is very exciting. But I will begin, because I got way more. The first book I picked out was The Hot Zone by Richard Preston. His other book that I've read had been The Demon in the Freezer, and I loved that one. It was about smallpox and anthrax, if you're into like diseases and stuff, and this one is about Ebola. So I'm really excited to get into this. The front cover is pretty cool too. See, it says, "From deep in the rainforest, a killer virus stalks the human race."
It's slightly terrifying, but it's okay.
Psst, it's Ebola. But I'm very excited to read this, and I know it's very nerdy, but I'm still sharing it with you because you know what? I like science, so let it be known.
My first book is Shiver by Maggie Stiefvater, and basically what I understand is this is about the wolves at Mercy Falls.
Yes.
Yes. And basically she sees this wolf and it's kind of like a love story, sort of. I pretty much picked this book up because it was Maggie Stiefvater and I loved her books, The Raven Cycles, all 4 of them, so picked it up for that.
The next book I got was Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo, and yes, this is basically a prequel trilogy to Six of Crows, which I have not read yet, but I had decided a while ago that I wanted to read Shadow and Bone first.
And the other 2 books.
Yeah. Basically what this book is about it's about a girl who has this special power, and she gets recruited by the Grisha. And I suppose it's about her experiences then going into the Grisha and what comes after that. So excited to read this one. Got it for real cheap too, so that's a bonus.
I've understood that if you've read Six of Crows, which I read Six of Crows and I'm going to read Crooked Kingdom really soon, that you can read those after. Just reading them before gives you a little bit more of a preview into that Six of Crows Grisha world. My next book was Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close by Jonathan Safran Foer. So this book is about 9/11. It's been on my to-read list for a long time, and it's about this 9-year-old Oscar who is embarking on this mission to find all these missing pieces to puzzle his dad left when his dad died in 9/11.
Alright, and then the next book I have is Ink and Bone by Rachel Kane. And I originally found out this book actually because of an Instagram promotion, shocker, and I just thought the covers were gorgeous, so I looked them up on Goodreads, and I found out that I'm actually interested in this trilogy. And what it was basically is that the Library of Alexandria survived until today, and now it controls like all of the knowledge of the world. And there's this guy whose family basically deals in the black market of books, and he ends up facing a challenge that he has to overcome. I'm excited to read this. I've heard some mixed reviews about it, but it was cheap, and I really like the cover, so I figured why not pick it up.
My next book is another book that's been on my to-read shelf for a long time. Time Traveler's Wife by Audrey N. I don't know your last name. I apologize. This is basically about a woman and her husband randomly time travels, and it's like their love story of how they cope kind of with this random time traveling.
The next book I have for you is Ruby Red by Kirsten Gehry. She's German. The book was translated into English, so I really don't know how to pronounce this. Basically, what it's about is it's also about a time traveler, but it's a young girl who's learning to use her time traveling abilities. What I heard is that if you liked the Mortal Instruments, this is a great book to pick up, and I've heard that from multiple people, so I figured I'd pick it up because I saw it, and it's not necessarily the cover I wanted, but this cover is still nice, so got it anyways.
My next book is Wayfarer by Alexandra Bracken. I picked this book up because I picked up Passenger a couple weeks ago, and if you watch the school read To Be Read, it's one of the books I'm going to read, so for this cheap, I was like, I should get it. It's a sequel to Passenger, and Passenger is basically about this girl, Etta, who goes on this journey of this family she didn't know existed and this legacy she has to carry on, and this kid, Nick, and he like lives his life on the sea, so I mean it's kind of like their journey, and I think there's a little bit of romance too.
The next book that I picked out was Like a River Glorious by Ray Carson. This is the second book after Walk on Earth a Stranger, which is basically about, to explain it best, it's a combination between Uncle Tom's Cabin and the Oregon Trail, the game. So it's about this girl who is fleeing her uncle and she goes on the Oregon Trail. Big thing is that she can sense gold, hence why she's going to California. This girl, so in this book she actually reaches California, and it's about her experiences while in California being this magical being that can sense the gold in the earth.
My next book is The Kite Runner by Colette Hosseini. It's the illustrated edition, so I thought that was really cool and it was cheap, so I had to pick it up. I've already read this book, and I loved it if you watch our top 5 favorite standalones. I wanted this one on my shelf since I don't have it and no one in my family owns it, and now I can force my sister to read it with this because I just love this book so much, and even the pictures on the back are really pretty.
Alright, so that's it for Alex's books, but I still have 2 more for you. So the first one I have is In Cold Blood by Truman Capote, and I was thrilled to find this today. I actually found 2 different copies, so I just picked the one that I liked better, and I obviously picked this one because it's designed after the first edition version, and I mean, what more could I want? So basically, I ended up finding out about this book because I had listened to the song In Cold Blood by Alt J, and I thought it was very interesting, and I ended up watching the music video. The music video kind of confused me, which if you watch it, you'll know why. And so I mentioned it to my dad, and my dad asked me, well, does it have any connection to In Cold Blood, the book? And I was like, there's a book? You mean there's a book I can read? And my dad was like, well, yeah. So of course I looked it up, and I found it was so interesting. I've never read a true crime book before either, so I'm very interested to read it. Essentially what I've understood is it's about this like multi-personal homicide that occurred, and the book is told in the point of view of the victims, the murderers, and the townspeople. So I'm very excited to read this. I actually started listening to like the audiobook a little bit ago because I was so excited and I liked the way that sounded, so I definitely wanted to pick this up, and I was thrilled to find it today. I had to hunt for it, I'll tell you, because it wasn't with the other true crime books, and I was really disappointed, but it was in the back corner, so we got it. And the last book I have for you is The Book of Life by Deborah Harkness, and honestly, this book, the blurb kind of sounds confusing to me. From what I've understood, it's about witches, and there's some romance in it. I mostly picked it up because I know it's supposed to be like an adventure book and stuff, but I've heard really great things about it, and in fact the guy who checked our books out and stuff, he said that he had asked me if I had ever read this before, and I told him that I hadn't, and he didn't say this, but what he meant was that I was going to have a wonderful journey reading these books, so I definitely picked them up, and the cover is beautiful too, so like that just added to it. Alright, well I think that's it, isn't it?
It is.
That's all 12 of them. Right there.
Oh, yes.
See you next time. We have a lot of exciting things coming up, so
Bye.